Welcome back to the shop, guys. Have a few things I got to take care of today. Right now, what we're dealing with is ice. We live in a normal style kind of neighborhood house right now, but that doesn't change the fact that we still have to deal with things like snow and ice. Even though these are pretty modern houses, there's still things you have to do. What happened was about a month ago, we got probably 3 feet of snow just dumped just within a week, a couple days. I mean, just massive amount of snow. And then shortly after that, it warmed up, which is never a good thing. When we lived in Oregon, when we get these, a lot of snow and rain built up, then it would freeze. And that was like the worst thing that could happen. So that basically has been happening for the last month or so. So that means we still have about a foot and a half of snow on the roof, which isn't really a big deal in and of itself, but then it's rained, all that water, moisture, everything sinks down to the bottom, and then it builds up around the edges of the roof. When it refreezes as it goes outside of the heated part of your house. And you can end up with leaks, and we aren't really getting into that situation yet because it's not that bad. The one next door right here, the gutters are almost all the way off. A couple houses down, they're all the way off. I managed to save ours. We don't have a lot of gutters, and we didn't have a lot of the gutters put on. And now that we know how this goes, we might not even put them on. I mean, I'd like to, or maybe make them removable or something. I mean, they might be more trouble than they're worth in this climate. So that was a good lesson to learn. We have gutters in the front area where you walk, walk up to the front entrance area, and that's okay. And they're not that long. So I have a solution for that, and I've been kind of doing this through the last week, and it's been working. Varying results, but it does work, and I'll show you how to build that scenario.
No, because I don't really know how to do it in here.
Oh, you're getting the hang of it. It's good to practice going slow. Oh, cool. Yeah, you just spun out. All right, so another trick in North Idaho for dealing with ice. Get yourself some hide socks or pantyhose. If you're from Portland, you move from Portland, you probably have pantyhose laying around anyways. So these little thin socks, any sort of thin sock will work. Pantyhose is probably the best because it's super thin. These don't work as good, I've noticed, but at least you can get a whole bunch of them for really cheap. So what you do is you make yourself you get this calcium chloride, which is just ice melt. Don't use salt. Salt will wreck your shingles, but this is for melting that ice off of your shingles, and then you just make yourself a little calcium chloride hot dog. Try not to touch this stuff. I don't know if it's toxic. I just got it in my arm. Like that, and you get this calcium chloride, and then what you do is you just lay this on the edges of your, you just lay that on the edges of your roof, crossing over your gutters if you have them. I'm just going to put these up kind of on the edge of our roof where the ice dams are, and let the water will start flowing through it after a couple of days of melting out. So this will take a little while to melt rather than the ones with the pantyhose because it's thinner material. So that's okay, just let it do its work. Especially if you're off grid and you don't have power, this is one way of doing it. This ice melt's pretty cheap, it's about 11 bucks. And then these, you get the cheapest ones you can find, and then just keep making these, and basically that'll kind of clear off your ice dams. All right, so basically that's what I do right there. I put this, that little bag up in these creases, because we got tons of snow, but like that's where all the water comes down. I also have heat tape here that I didn't get in time, so I'm trying to use that to thaw out these gutters, and eventually I will be chipping these out, and then I'll install this the correct way. You got to run one piece of heat tape, some of the cables got to go inside the gutter, and then you want to zigzag it up above the shingle so it melts everything before it gets into here, and then it continues the melt all the way down to the gutter. I have the heat tape going all the way down there, so once it gets to here, it's fine. I busted all that out, and that's fine. So I think I saved the gutter anyways. It's not too bad. So that's that solution. That's that trick. Just try different stuff until it works.